Hello my fantastic lot, it's Megagran here again with another episode from my vintage story. Now then, if you remember in the last episode, Or and I stood on one of those static translocators to see where it was going to take us. I'd been so excited that we'd found one. It was my first find of a translocator and it took us nearly 8,000 blocks away. That was awesome. And it wasn't long before Or followed me through.
Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm here. Here I am.
Nice.
Yeah, this is new. It's far south.
We think it was the furthest west anybody had been, but it wasn't quite as far south as we'd been because the Snowbird village was a little bit further south. And Or, forever the explorer, was off already. First to explore the cave we were in, and we soon came across some new rock. This was chert, and I quite liked the look of that, but out came my prospecting pick because I was after some ores if I could find some. Now I wasn't intending on doing any deep mining, and I wasn't equipped for it either, so a quick little poke with my prospecting pick would give us an indication of what was nearby that I could readily grab. And Or had already found some copper, but I was after something more interesting. But I doubted very much whether I would find it at this level. But I was compelled to have a go whenever I could. And I really was just being nosy and I wanted to peek, so I went a little bit further, taking out some of the rocks with my pick, just to see, well, see what I could see really. But as you could imagine, when you look down a deep dark hole, all you could see was darkness. I wanted to take samples back though for all the new rock that I was finding, because it was very varied and it was very interesting. I liked this chert. The granite was quite nice as well. I fancied building up a collection of the different rocks so I knew what I could choose from when it came to house building. And I had a thought for the future of making something a little bit grander than my little house on the lake. But for now, building up a collection of the different rocks would have to do, because I still had a long way to go through my vintage story before I got to that stage. Or had seen some light ahead, and so we followed it. And it wasn't long before we found ourselves in a higher part of the cave, and another different rock. And I needed to have a look at it. It was very dark. In fact, at a distance, it was black. It was basalt rock. I used my prospecting pick again, just in case, you know. But I quite like the look of that rock and I'd have to take some samples on the way back. But my inventory, as always, was quite full and I couldn't take anything else at the moment. This was a flying visit, really. And as I opened up the map, I could see that the terrain was very similar to that which we had just left. And as you can see and hear, it was very, very wet. We didn't want to wander too far away from the translocator, but we did want to have a little look round, just to see what we could see. I mean, that's what exploring is all about, isn't it? But we didn't find anything new. The foodstuffs that we saw were just the same as we were finding back home. And I shouldn't really have been surprised that we didn't find anything new because we hadn't really gone that far, relatively speaking. I mean, we had to go a long way south of the Snowbird village to find any tropical stuff. But then Or spotted something quite interesting.
Ooh.
Oh, 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 that looks like gold.
Sulfur.
Sulfur. Oh. And what would you use that for?
For bombs and...
Bombs?
I use it for my healing stuff.
Oh. Don't know if I'd quite have use for bombs. What's down here? Oh, there's some more down here.
Okay. Yeah, I use the honey sulfur poultices.
So I wasn't going to miss out. I thought I'd take quite a bit of this if I could. It sounded quite useful, did this sulfur. But then Or found something even more useful.
Sulfur can wait. There's something even better.
Oh, really? and I wasted no time in going to have a look. Ooh, what is it?
It's all salt. Salt.
Oh. Which bit? The halite rock?
No. Yeah, this is all turned into salt.
Oh. Well, I should have sounded a lot more excited because salt is used in the preservation of food, which was really, really important in this game. And the sylvite that sometimes appeared in the rock, well, that was important as well because you could grind that down into potash, which could be used as a fertiliser. Well, I was quite peckish after working on a couple of stacks of salt. I brought a stack back for Maddie. So I had a nibble on my pies. And then noticed I'd dropped some on the floor. So, looking at my inventory, which was stuffed full, I had to make space for it. And then I suddenly realised that's why I had no food left at the end of our south journey. Because if you nibbled on a pie and didn't eat the whole of that piece of pie, it actually put that in your inventory and threw the remaining stack out. That was no good at all. You could easily end up with no food on a long journey, thinking that you'd got quite a bit in your inventory. I have to keep my eye on that. Well, it wasn't long before we had our first encounter with a wolf. Oh, wolf! Yes, he's here! Ah! Well, I was all for running, but not all. He's right there. Are you down there? Are you getting them? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I couldn't run then, could I? So I had to go back with my sling and give a hand. We soon saw him off. Horrid thing. Well, for this excursion at least, we didn't go much further than that cave before we turned and went back to find the cave we came from. But we soon found it wasn't as empty as we'd left it.
There's a couple of drifters.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh, I think I'll have to use my sword, I think. Horrid things. Another one down there. Oh, you got that one. Okay. Phew.
I shall mark the path.
Okie dokie. I'll
Okay,
just
I'll
go a
be
bit
back
further.
in
Oh,
just a moment.
all right then. There's some more down here.
Not leaving call. I mean,
Oh,
you know.
okay. Get away. Get away. That's it. Oh, stop throwing things at me, you horrid thing. Nice. Phew.
I was placing some obsidian stones to show which path it was.
Nice.
Like breadcrumbs,
Didn't
basically.
feel like we came this way, but here it is.
Here it is. At least now it's actually spinning for me.
Right. Oh, and I still didn't mark the entrance. Oh my goodness. I'm a bit dizzy that way, but at least Or did, so that was good. And in a blink of an eye, we were much closer to home.
At some point I'll go back there and like just have like a ladder from the teleporter up.
Oh yeah, that'd be much better.
Oh, that was still a pretty good like exploration.
It was. We got quite a bit of new stuff. Quite chuffed with all that. And it wasn't very long before I could see my house on the lake. Always very comforting. And it doesn't really matter how long or short your journeys are. It's always nice to be home. So once home, I sorted out my inventory. And I separated out a stack of halite to take to Maddie's. I needed to be fairly quick because a temporal storm had just been announced. I had probably about a good 20 minutes or so before I needed to get in my pantry and settle myself down to do a bit of panning. I really needed to make a bunker, so when all the drifters were spawning during the temporal storm, I could kill them and get all the loot. You get quite a lot of loot from them, and the rusty gears are particularly useful. You can buy all sorts with them. So the temporal storm came, and I was in my pantry, panning with the bony soil I'd collected on my last adventure. And you get quite a few interesting things from bony soil. I got a rough peridot. I got rusty gear, they're always useful. Got a candle and a spearhead, copper spearhead at that. Couldn't make a spear though, had no sticks. Yeah, it was quite a good panning session was that. And the storm was waning now. So I needed to go up and clear out all the drifters that had spawned around my house. There'd be a few, I'm sure, and I might be lucky enough to get more loot. Right, let's have a look. Oh, there's one right there. Oh my goodness, my gate must be open. Right, I'll start with my spear, see if I can get him. Oh, there's two there. Hang on. Come on, there. Oh, that's good. Got him. Can I get him over there? Oh! There we go. Oh, got him as well. Let me collect my spears as I go down my stairs. Any more? Oh, there's a few over there. Oh! Can I get him from here? Oh my goodness. He looked like a dangerous one. Oh, I don't know. I think it was just because it was the back of him. There we go. There's several types of these. These aren't too bad, actually. Whoa. I didn't expect him coming around that corner. There we go. So that was 2 round there. Let me just pick up my spears again. Can I get this one? Oh! No, that's stuck in the... It's not a good setup, isn't this? Let me get inside. Oh my goodness. There we go. Oh my goodness me. Right. Oh. Now, I don't know if you remember, but early on in the series, there were some shenanigans involving GReimer during his streams. People would pledge a super chat if he could come and get me with a spear. So every time I saw his tag around my base, I got very suspicious. And this was no exception, because that was he. Who's that running over there?
Don't worry about it.
I can't see the name.
I don't think you need to worry about it, Gran.
You coming over that bridge, GReimer?
I'm not going over anything. I'm over at my place.
I see. I see ya. I've got my.
Your name's hidden if you crouch.
I've got my spear ready.
I have returned.
Just in time to hear Gran yelling at GReimer.
Oh no! Ryan, do you need some more arrows?
He's trying to dodge all my spears.
Ah! That's the time. Thanks for the spears, bye!
You go, that's for Todd, as if it's like some revenge.
Oh god, she threw a B-Nade at me! I was trying to give her her spears back.
Get him!
And on one particular occasion, I got a little help from a friend.
Like $20. Really appreciate it. I'm sure Gran appreciates it even more.
I was getting topped up with B-Nades from Ore. And it was solely necessary, because at this point, the super chats were coming in thick and fast.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
You're
I'm
Gran.
letting you know you're gonna die. Thank you, Mr. Herobrine, for the additional
He
$5.
can't come in.
And
No!
thank you, Todd, for the additional $5 on top of that. Let me just get some spears lined up
Here.
here.
That's
Sure.
ridiculous!
Gran might have a fatality happening here pretty soon.
That's what you think.
For her sake, she better hope that I get there quick.
Crouch. Crouch. Your names are hidden.
Yes, don't ever stand the entire time you're playing.
I've got to get these on me hot bar just a minute.
Yeah, hold on. Everyone stop what you're doing. We got to gear up.
Well, first he has to find where you're hiding.
He does.
I'm just heading back to my base to make a new shovel. That's why I'm back here. No other reason.
It wasn't long before I spied GReimer across the top of the minimap. He was looking, but he couldn't find me. It wouldn't be long, though, before he sussed it out. But I was ready for him this time. I got me spears, I got me B-Nades. I kept my eye on his tag, and I waited him out. He was not going to win this fight.
Where are you, Grant?
You will never know.
Dang, this is a nice place you got here. Holy cow. Oh, sorry. Grant, where are you?
And one of the things I was saying to Tin, I think before the stream was, I don't usually, like build for looks, but when I do, I get very critical about it.
Where are you,
Grant?
GReimer?
I'm over at your place.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm over at your place.
You're
Don't
such
worry
a
about it.
fibber.
Yeah, I'm just over there. I'm certainly not at OreSkull's.
I thought I might be able to get a surprise hit on him with a beanade. You're looking for something.
Yeah, I thought I left my my keys around here somewhere.
Mm. So I waited for him to get closer. I could see him quite clearly now. And he was coming my way.
Man, usually she's much more open for a fight here. This is weird.
So I aimed very carefully. Oh! That wasn't very good, was it?
I really want to see Grant's perspective for this.
Somebody's
It's
being
hilarious.
attacked by bees right now. I think that might be her.
Yeah.
It hit
You
one
hiding
of
in
your
the
things
treasury?
that stick on.
What?
Are you hiding in the treasury? You lock the door.
Yeah, that's the whole point of a lock.
Wow.
Hey, you can't break in either.
Is he
Where is she? 1, 2, 3. There it is. I did it. Thank you, Mr. Herobrine and Todd for that. Worth it. I'm like running away all bloodied and beaten. Like, I got him.
Oh dear. Oh, there's
I
a
actually
chicken
have
in here.
I have some of your stone.
Hmm.
I'm coming back with you. Some of your stone.
Maybe I should reinforce that part. Yeah, the reinforcement makes so you have to break the blocks 50 times.
Oh, jeez. Wow. Oh, no, the bees are attacking. Did I come out as positive on that? I think I have it. Oh, look at that. There she's still throwing stuff. Nail
Is
it
that
with a
my spear?
I don't know. Probably not. I think that was a flint one.
Let's have a look. Oh, I've got your flint spear. All my spears have gone. Have you got my
I got these-
spears?
I have these sweet.
I have
copper
some of
spears.
them.
Okay.
I got these sweet copper spears.
Here's 2 of them.
Thank you. Oh dear. And GReimer proved particularly adept at clandestine intelligence operations.
You know you can add more blades on that, right?
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really thought
five
about
up-
it, to be
You
honest.
make 5 of, so 4 more, I guess, right?
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it, but
yeah.
I could do.
Yeah, make it go faster.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? It does its job though. I just put some flour in and some flaxseed in, and just leave it to its own devices. And next time I look, it's flour, so that's all
Yeah.
right. But
GReimer's still
Yeah,
kicking himself for overcomplicating it.
I remember doing the one that I had.
hey!
Thank you, Todd, for the $1 super
Oh
chat. You were
wow! That was so sneaky!
Thank you so much for the $1 super chat. That was great.
That was so sneaky. After I was running when I threw my spear. I have no idea where they went.
Oh yeah, I don't know either. I didn't even seal it that time.
Oh, one's here. Oh my goodness me. That was so sneaky.
I'm just hanging out there for a while.
Oh, I found my other one as well. It's in the middle of my
Not only
sunflowers.
did I manage to hit her, but I
Oh,
got my
God.
spear back, and I got away without even getting hit.
You- That was so sneaky.
That was awesome. Thanks, Todd. That was sweet for somebody.
Oh my goodness me.
Commenting on her windmill size and stuff. Like, I know
Wow.
anything about windmills.
Well, time marched on, and in the autumn, we got a new addition to our server. Tinnikin. Tinnikin had been shown around by Ore, and I provided a little bit of copper just to get started.
Yeah,
Little
I'm
bit
gonna
of
need to be trying to find a good balance between letting people help me and doing stuff on my own, but
And I felt quite justified in making her the only weapon I could, and I thought it was a very useful gift to give someone new on the server. And if you'd like to follow Tin's adventure, I'll put a link in the description below. Well, time marched on, as it does. It was now November. I did get my sails up though. It took me a bit of fiddling about, but I eventually did it. And I made them as big as I could do. And it looked awesome. But what I really wanted to do was build my smeltery, but I didn't really want to build in the winter. So I thought I'd leave it a bit and wait till the winter had passed. It was now mid-November, but it was nearly another year before I was on the server again. It was now mid-October the following year. Oh my goodness me, people had been busy on the server, and time had flown, and ice was starting to creep its way across the lake again. Well, I'd procrastinated enough. It was time to get on with my blacksmith. I needed a smeltery, and I was going to build it now. It was mostly going to be in cobblestone, because I had quite a bit of cobblestone, only I couldn't really decide on a design. I wanted to use this area here. I'd underpinned it with dirt so that I could dig down and have adequate storage, and it took several starts before I got anywhere. I tried to make it a unique shape, but it was soon obvious to me that that was going to be problematic, getting the roof on, so I had to think that again. And I made it a lot straighter this time, and used most of the space that I had available. And I eventually made the entrance diagonal, and that would have to be unique enough. I put a lot of windows in because I wanted it to be airy and light. And as I got all my windows in, I found I quite liked how it was developing. But I still felt I had a little bit of a challenge on my hands to get the roof on. So I dove straight in and met the challenge head on. I used blue clay to make the roof shingles so that it would match the house, and it started off quite easy. And I did quite a bit of the easy stuff first because I wanted to feel like I was getting somewhere. But I might have lulled myself into a false sense of security. But I was getting higher, and I felt that things were going well. I stopped at the diagonal and tried to get it as complete as possible at the back. It was quite nice being up top here. Nothing really could get me, and the winter hadn't properly come yet, so I didn't have to deal with the snow. I did sometimes find the shingles particularly hard to place though, and I couldn't really figure out why. I mean, there were obvious ones that I'd obviously placed in the wrong place. But then some of them, when I thought I'd placed them correctly, just went skew with. And I had an awful lot of those. And that definitely slowed down my progress. It was quite frustrating. But on the whole, I thought I was getting on with it quite well. Then I had to negotiate the diagonal, and this was very slow going because I was quite confused about which pieces should go on here. In the end, I just slammed on a corner piece and hoped that that was going to be the place that it needed to go. But I needed something that would join them together, and I found an inner corner piece. I thought that must be it. So I made a few of those. I had quite a lot of shingles. In fact, I don't remember making as many as I had. And I did wonder whether somebody had put some spares in my chest. So I crossed my fingers and I tried to place it. And I was fair chuffed when it actually fit. But putting one piece in was one thing. Getting the others to fit was another. And the way they kept misplacing was no help at all. I did think there must be a knack to this, but I obviously hadn't got it. But after a little while, I got into a rhythm, and it seemed to be all coming together. I did want this front bit to come together as well, though. But those misplaced blocks got so frustrating. And when I got the last of the front pieces in, it still seemed to be lacking something. I added an extra corner piece, and that seemed to fit really well. And I carried on the overhang all the way around. And I really, really liked it. It was coming together really well. So I worked on marrying up this front bit with the top back bit. It was challenging, I must admit, but once I got into a rhythm, again, it was coming together, and I was able to get higher and higher up the roof. Then I got to a bit where things just would not join up, and I had no idea what to do with it. So I went back to the shapes that were available, and I saw a blue clay roof tip. And that was quite flat and square, and it seemed to fit in this corner, so I thought I'd try it. I was using blocks to underpin the top bits, so I did eventually have a lot of flat bits, and I thought I'd put these flat tips on all the flat bits. But it just wouldn't work, so I had to take them off, and figured out that the corners had to actually go up further. So I carried on using corners for as far as I could. And I married that up with another corner opposite it, because it allowed me to put it there. So that seemed to go all right. And then that seemed to fit in an ordinary one, so I put that in there. And I carried on across with the outer corners, and those seemed to fit as well. And I married those up with inner corners like I had been doing, and it seemed to be working. It felt quite good seeing it come in together. And soon I found another pattern emerging. There was now one tip on each of the triangular corners, and I could sort of see where another tip needed to go. And when I'd put the last tip in, that left me with a square bit in the middle, and that was where my windmill was going to come through. But for now, I actually completed it as if it was a closed roof, because I had to figure out exactly how I was going to fit my windmill in there. And that might need some thinking. I was fair chuffed with that. I really was. I liked the shape, I liked it was different, and I liked the fact that I was able to use the whole of this area. I made two of the windows a lot bigger, and I'm sure there'll be a few more adjustments as time goes on, but for now, I'm going to leave it at that. And in the next episode, we'll see how I get on incorporating the windmill. So take care, everybody. And I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.